Previously on Tales from the 20 side.
I guess I'll start with your pet. Turns to Chardonnay, takes his short sword as the sword itself seems to swirl with this black and red energy. And he slashes at Chardonnay. 30 points of negative damage.
Even with Liberating Step, Chardonnay is down.
Dick.
What the dick? Wipe that smile off his face.
Want to avenge Chardonnay.
So as the skeleton rakes into you, Otto, you find yourself falling backwards and you lie still on the ground.
And Otto is down.
You watch him sort of swing, this mad, desperate swing towards Brother Amos, and you flick the spear in your hand and you drive it at just the right second as the spear plunges through his eye, through his skull, out the back in a splatter of blood and gore. The body of Rohkar staggers for a second before stumbling off to his left. You see it break through the banister of the staircase and crashes to the ground with a thud. You can fix it in post, you can fix it in post.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh dear. Right, welcome back, listeners, to Tales from the 20 side, Pathfinder 2nd edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom, and I am the games master for this game and other games on this channel. I'm joined by our regular cast members of Mr. Stu Jackson.
Hello.
Mr. Neil Kelly.
Hello.
And Mr. Darren Mafucci.
Hello.
Well, welcome back, folks. How are we feeling after that rather intense session we had a moment ago?
God. Well, it was a week ago for the listeners, but my God, he was tough to bring down, wasn't he?
It was tough to bring down. Well, yeah, I didn't. He brought me down.
Well, yeah, and Chardonnay. He brought down Chardonnay.
He were a right dick.
He was. I'm wondering if we bit off more than we could chew with this, if I'm honest. I'm kind of wondering. And it's not over yet, because, well, I don't know if the darkness and the skeleton will dispel with his death. We'll be finding that out soon enough, no doubt. But it might not be over yet.
Indeed. Must have been quite cathartic to finally bring down this perpetual thorn in your side for a good 10 episodes now, at least, isn't it?
It's been a funny relationship with him, I think, because he was the bad guy, then he was an ally.
Well, he was a client.
He was a quest giver. Yeah. He had a little diamond above his head.
Yeah, a little exclamation mark appeared. Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
It's almost like the NPCs in the world have their own agendas.
Isn't it, though?
And sometimes you may or may not be fulfilling them for them.
Yeah.
But there we go.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter now because he's dead.
But certainly Alwyn he's been getting very emotional about all that. He's been getting flashbacks.
You don't know, man. You weren't there.
Do you know what? There's a reason why Alwyn is the way he is. And I won't say any more than that.
Yes, something we can explore once we get into the game itself. So it sounds like, unless anyone wants to correct me, we're ready to get going.
I'm keen to dive back in and see what happens.
The unconscious form of Otto is giving a thumbs up.
There we go. Okay, so bringing us back into the game. Olwyn Templeton, Brother Amos, and Otto von Niederschläger. We really need to come up with like a collective name for the three of you at some point, just to make that a bit easier for me.
Just before we all die.
Yeah.
Our hero.
It's the best time to come up with a name, I think. It's just before you all die. Yes, either way, you completed part of your journey within the Border Wood, having defeated the being known as Tebnotten. You came across Captain Rohkar of Rohkar's Raiders, and it was decided that this man could not be allowed to continue his villainy. So before pressing onwards through the Winter Portal as directed by Ilvarian Matavius, you opted to cleanse the wood of the Raiders and put a stop to all his wrongdoings. In doing so, you made your way back to the High Sentinel Lodge, where you fought a pitched battle against Rohkar and the last of his men that he had at the lodge. And after a close fight in which Otto was brought down on more than one occasion, Olwen's wolf Chardonnay was almost brought down in quite brutal fashion by Rohkar a couple of times as well. As the battle culminated on the stairs up to Rohkar's office, Olwen, in a fit of fury and abject rage, sort of seeing what Rohkar was trying to do to his friends, plunged a spear through the bastard's eye, I think is the technical term. And we ended last time as the still grinning corpse of Rohkar staggered off to one side, crashed through the balcony of the stairs, and landed on the floor of the High Sentinel Lodge with a sickening thud and lay still. And that is where we bring ourselves back in. So, adventurers, what would you like to do?
First question, are we still in rounds?
Right now you're not. You can... I'll tell you what, give me a perception roll there, Owen.
Oh, natural 20 for 27.
Nice. Currently, you're not... You don't seem to be in any kind of dire threat at the moment. You can still hear the clonking of this skeleton moving around Rohkar's office and sort of bashing into chairs and knocking into the table and all that sort of thing. The sphere of darkness that had enveloped the room is still persisting.
Amos, can you watch for the skeleton while I tend to our friends?
Absolutely.
So the first thing Alvin would like to do is check to see if Otto is still breathing.
Sure thing. You bend down, and Otto is indeed breathing.
So breathe a sigh of relief on that. Rush down to Chardonnay and check the same.
And again, Chardonnay is laying very still in a pool of his own blood. And there's a very faint heartbeat, and you can feel a bit of breath coming out of his mouth.
Right. I would like to very carefully and gently bring Chardonnay upstairs next to Otto.
Okay. As you sort of heft Chardonnay up and you start making your way up the stairs, you get kind of just to the top of the landing, and you see the globe of darkness disappears, and you hear a shambling moan as the skeleton that is now able to see, you see it begin to move towards you. Let's roll initiative again, folks.
Okay. 23 for Alwyn.
23 for Olwen.
19.
19 for Brother Amos.
Otto's unconscious.
Yes, Otto, you don't wait for him.
That's true.
Wait for Otto.
So yeah, Otto, we won't have you roll for the time being because, well, there's no point whilst you're currently unconscious. Either way, acting first there, you see... Brother Amos, Olwen, you see this as you're getting up to the top of the stairs. You see the globe of darkness dissipate, and you see the skeleton begin to shamble towards the doorway where you are.
Okay, first action, I would like to place Chardonnay on the ground. I'm not going to drop for a free action.
Sure.
I'm going to take the time to place.
Sure. That's fine.
Second action, I will draw the rapier.
Okay.
Third action, I will let out a scream as I rush towards the skeleton.
Okay.
Ah! Sorry, listeners.
Okay, and with all of your movement, you can get right up next to the skeleton.
Okay, I will do that.
Brother Amos, you've seen Olwyn go rushing into Rohkar's office. You there, Darren?
Yeah.
Yes, it's your turn.
It's my turn. And I'm going to follow Alwyn and help him deal with this skeleton.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20. Again, using one action, you can get in a position where you're flanking this skeleton on the other side of the desk.
Okay.
So 2 actions left.
Flurry of blows.
Okay, roll 2 attacks for me.
26.
26 will hit.
23.
And 23 will also hit. Roll damage for both of those.
8. Have I still got the Bane?
No, that's gone.
That's gone. Okay, 8 then.
Is that 8 total?
Yeah.
Okay. You punch the skeleton twice. Takes a couple of nasty hits. 1 more action left.
A powerful fist.
Okay, roll the attack.
19.
19 again is just enough to hit. Roll damage.
8.
8 points of damage. Okay. You smack it with your fist. We're round to its turn. It turns its attention to the one who rushed in first, in this case being Olwyn. And it's going to make a swipe at you with its claws, Olwyn. Again, you see that this skeleton seems to have a scimitar strapped to its waist, which it's foregoing in favour of just raking you with its claws. I've got a 23 to hit.
23 is going to hit.
Okay, Olwyn, you take 5 points of slashing damage, and once again the frosty nature of this creature seeps into you, and you take an additional 6 points of cold damage.
Okay.
Okay, it's going to rake it. It turns around to rake at Brother Amos. I've got a 13 to hit. That's going nowhere near. And its last strike, it comes back towards you, Olwyn. No, that's an 8 total.
No, nowhere near.
So it rakes you once across the chest. Gets one good hit in, and then whiffs on the last 2. Between the two of you, it doesn't really stand a chance. Are you happy for me to hand wave this last couple of rounds of combat?
Your call.
All right. Just for the sake of brevity, because we've had quite a combat-heavy couple of episodes, a few seconds later, between Olwyn and Brother Amos, they do bring down this skeleton. Olwyn, you use your rapier to kind of knock out one of its legs, and as it's toppling to one side, Brother Amos, you shatter its skull with your fist. As you do so, you watch the sort of swirling blue energy around it sort of pulse and coalesce and then blast outwards. I need a reflex saves from both of you, please.
Duck! 25.
Okay.
17.
17. Okay. And you do see this kind of building for a second, and you are able to kind of get down just out of the way. You each take 2 points of cold damage as it washes over you. You do seem to avoid the worst of it.
Okay.
But with that done, the skeleton is nowhere to be seen. For the time being, you are out of combat.
Brother Alwyn is not in good shape. But better shape than Otto.
Brother Amos. Yes.
Brother Amos, yeah.
Yeah. I'm Brother Alwyn.
I pick up my own name.
Well, you're in that bad shape.
That's how bad I am, yeah.
Do you want to see if you can find any healing potions or anything? He was that sort of person.
Yep, yes, I'll have a search around.
While Amos is having a look through the office for that sort of thing, Alwyn would like to position himself between Otto and Chardonnay, and would like to do a treat wounds on both of them. Now, I know there's a feat to treat wounds on multiple at a time, but I'd like to take my time and do 20 minutes treating them both.
Sure.
Sort of one, then back and forth, rather than simultaneously, if that makes sense.
I get what you're going for. You can absolutely do that. Give me 2 medicine checks there, please, Olwyn. One for... your choice which one you do first.
Let's do Otto first.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Brother Amos, if you could give me a... what's it going to be? Investigation's not a thing. Give me a general perception roll as you're searching the office.
Okay. 20.
20, okay. As you're kind of going around the table, Brother Amos, you do find at one end there seems to be a drawer that is slightly ajar, and you pull it open, and there is inside it there are 3 vials of a shimmering red liquid that you are very familiar with. These are potions of healing.
I will grab those and take them.
Okay. And Olwyn, what were your medicine rolls?
So for Otto, I got 17.
Okay, restore 2d8 for Otto.
10 points for Otto.
Okay.
10.
Chardonnay was a 12. Yes, 10. 10 for Otto.
Okay. Chardonnay, you're unable to do anything for. Animal physiology is a bit different to humanoid physiology, and you start sort of stitching red to red and white to white as you were taught by the medics, and then you start realizing, hang on a second, I might be doing. I'm not totally familiar with the anatomy of this creature. I'm not gonna chance hurting him even further. But Otto, as Olwyn finishes his care of you, your eyes do sort of slowly flicker open. You feel like you've been hit by just a truck in real world terms. But you are awake, and more importantly, you are still breathing.
That's I'm not so happy about being awake, but I'm happy to still be breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. But bear with me, Brother Amos. Did you find anything?
Yes, three health potions.
Can I have one for Chardonnay, please?
Absolutely. I'll hand over the potions.
And yeah, I'll use one on Chardonnay.
Okay, so this is a potion of lesser healing. So that's going to be 2d8 plus 5 back to Chardonnay.
Oh, would you believe I've rolled snake eyes?
Oh, mate. 1 in 64
That one was a dud. But
at least Chardonnay does. His eyes pop open and sort of starts panting very, 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 very shallowly. Shallowly, is that a word? The panting is very shallow.
Yeah.
The Sea of Shallowly.
By the river of Babylon. Well, you say you're not well either. Let's have a look at you then, and I'll do a treat wounds on Brother Amos.
Okay. And again, are you taking 10 minutes to do that, or are you doing battle medicine?
No, I'm taking 10 minutes.
Okay. Roll that medicine check.
25.
Critical success. That's 4d8 back to Brother Amos.
48.
If you roll 4 ones, I'm buying you a new set of dice.
15 points back.
15.
to Brother Amos.
On top of my 10.
No, that was Brother Amos. That was not
yes,
Otto.
not Otto.
No, I can't treat you again for an hour. Is that right?
I do appreciate all you've done for me.
Yes, we need to wait for an hour. Well, presumably, because half an hour's gone by for treating 3. Actually, yeah, I'll do a treat wounds on myself as well.
Okay.
Which is 15.
That's just a success.
Barely.
Again,
so
perhaps
I get 8
your
back.
perhaps Olwyn's sort of latent concern for his friends allowed him to work quite well on them. But as soon as he comes to patch himself up, a wave of tiredness threatens to wash over you. But you push past it just long enough to patch yourself up a bit.
Right. If we can wait 20 minutes, I can start again.
I mean, just as a note, it's probably been forgotten because it's been some time since you got here. You did arrive at the lodge kind of just as it was getting towards sunset anyway.
Yeah, I think having a good night's rest would probably be a good idea. Actually, can Alwyn start looking around the office for any bottles of booze?
You certainly can. Give me a perception roll.
Oh, make it good, make it good, make it good. Oh, it's not bad. 24.
24. You have a look around the office. You don't find any booze in there, but you do recall that Rohkar had some on him when you last met.
Has anyone searched his body?
No.
And the body of the skeletons and the dead one downstairs?
I think we should do that.
So the skeletons themselves have turned to dust. There's just all that's left of the skeletons is the ragged leather armour that the bandits were wearing beforehand and their scimitars.
Right. Okay, what about Rohkar and the dead bandit downstairs?
Okay. The bandit downstairs doesn't have much on him, aside from if anybody is in need of crossbow bolts, he has 10 of those on him.
Yes.
Other than that, it's all fairly standard gear. You know, he's wearing leather armour, has a scimitar, and has a small crossbow. All stuff that I think most of you already have.
Yeah.
But you come to search Rohkar, and you find rather a lot more on him. You see that he's wearing underneath this thick white cloak. He was wearing a suit of studded leather armour. The cloak itself, as you take it off his body, there's just a slight tingle of static in your fingers. And you get a similar effect from his short sword. But in addition to those items, you find the flask of booze that he previously offered to sell you, and you also find a number of small vials that seem to contain quite viscous liquid. And there's one that's a small tub that seems to be more of a powdery substance.
Okay, now I know you are happy for us to do a sort of dip a finger into a liquid to see what it is.
Yep.
So can we work out, or can Alwyn...
Can I dip my
poisonous.
finger in the powder and rub it on my gums to see what it is?
Okay. So you
do you want a piece of parchment?
Right. Yes, you sort of open up these vials, and as you do so, 3 of them have quite a bitter smelling liquid, and you sort of dip your finger into it and just touch the tongue with it, and these seem to be a venom of some kind. Specifically, there are 3 vials of giant centipede venom. The 4th that Rohkar has on him, you sort of uncork the vial, and it makes you feel quite woozy, just kind of sniffing it. So you decide not to not to actually ingest any of that, but that is 1 dose of lethargy poison. And the kind of powdery substance, Brother Amos, as you rub it into your gums, I need you to give me a fortitude save, please.
See, drugs are bad in the cave.
21.
21. Okay. As you do take a bit of this on your gums, your head starts to spin. You sort of wobble, have to catch yourself on the wall to stop yourself from falling over. But you take a second and you breathe, and the feeling passes. You suffer no ill effects. But you do ascertain that this is a single dose of the poison known as grave root.
Grave root.
So rubbing this powder into your gut. What sort of monk are you again?
A very bad one.
Otto, I noticed you were pocketing those crossbow bolts.
Yes,
it's very good. Now I wanted to mention, I noticed you were firing your crossbow, sort of, into the face of the skeleton. Correct me if there's a reason for it, but has it occurred to you not to use something like a dagger, which doesn't need reloading when you're next to something?
Oh, well, I wasn't at my best, I have to admit, and the crossbows were I had in my hand, so I was just fending them off.
Oh,
and then it was all too late.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, I just wondered about that, because, Hamilton, as an experienced bounty hunter,
I tend to just favour the crossbow, but
yes,
I don't. Yeah. People don't usually get that close when I'm using a crossbow.
You hunt at range.
Yes.
I can see the common sense, and can definitely see why you would want to stay at range in particular. Yes. Have 20 minutes gone by, and can I start another round of treat wounds?
Absolutely. I mean, is the intention just to kind of take a rest in the lodge?
I think. What do you think, chaps? Should we stay here overnight?
Overnight? It is our lodge now. We own it, don't we?
We can stay overnight, and then Otto, you can burn it in the morning.
Yes.
Well, hang on. We might not want to do that, because we might want to let the people of Helgen know that it's available again, so the High Sentinels can maybe come back and do their thing
and
again.
Pay us rent.
Well, no, it's not really ours.
Well, it kind of is. We've worked for it.
I thought. Didn't you say that all possession was theft?
Me? No. Why would I say that? I'm a bounty hunter.
I seem to remember that.
Not when it applies to us.
Right. Okay.
I'm employing a double standard here. I think.
Right. Well, standards are good. Standards are good. So if you've got a double standard, that's twice the standard.
Yes.
So that's got to be twice as good.
Yes.
There's a logic to that.
Yes,
there is. I quite like it.
Right. But no, I think maybe not burn it down.
No, we won't burn it down.
I was only joshing.
Maybe burn the evil things that Rohkar. Maybe burn Rohkar.
Yes, I'll enjoy that.
Yes. Don't we all? Oh, you can do detect magic, can't you, Otto?
Yes.
You might want to have a look at this cloak and this short sword.
Yes, I'll do detect magic.
Okay, so you cast your detect magic, Otto, and these 2 items are indeed magical.
They are magical in a way that I cannot elaborate on. But they are magical.
Okay. I mean, if the intention is to kind of take a rest here in the High Sentinel Lodge, you can sort of figure it out over the course of the evening what these things do.
Well, they are magical experts, yes. Well, it'll give you something to do while you're on watch, won't it?
I suppose, yes.
So maybe if I do another round of healing and then we start watches, what do you think?
That sounds like a
Agreed.
good idea.
For just so I know, in Rohkar's flask, am I right in thinking that there was the equivalent of 3/10 of Alwyn's flask?
I think that's what we said. Yes.
Right. So I'll up that accordingly. Not going to take any just yet. Going to hold back because I still haven't got very much. Okay, so yeah, another round of healing then. So treat wounds rather. So for Otto, that's 11. Sorry, Otto. At least I'm not hurting you.
Yes, at least there's that.
For Chardonnay, that's better this time. 21.
Lovely.
So Chardonnay gets back. Oh, that's pretty good. 12. So another 12 there. And then for Amos. That's pretty good. Rolled a 19. So that is 28. Which I believe is a critical success.
It is.
That is 12 plus 6. 18 points back
Ooh.
to Brother Amos. And then finally on himself again. Nope, another 11.
Okay. You are able to at least patch up, do a bit of patching up here and there, making everyone a bit more comfortable, as it were.
Yeah.
I am back to full health.
Yay!
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Maybe you can take first watch then.
Yep, I'll do that.
Me and Chardonnay can take second watch.
I'll take
Alright.
third then.
Okay, Brother Ramos, as you kind of settle yourselves into sleep in the lodge, it's a fairly big place, and it's eerily quiet now that it's everyone
is dead. Now that everyone is dead.
now that its former residents have been evicted. I was going to say, and yeah, you sort of sit there in silent contemplation. Sort of listening to the howl of the wind and the occasional creak of the timber. But your watch passes uneventfully, and so you wake Olwyn and Chardonnay, who also take their watches. And in much a similar fashion, Olwyn, you find yourself ruminating on what happened here today, how close you came to losing friends yet again, but at the same time finding strength in the fact that this time at least you were able to protect them, and before you know it, your watch has come to an end, and you wake Otto to take his watch. And Otto, just as the dawn is beginning to break, you hear a loud squawk from outside one of the windows, and you sort of snap to attention. And go to look and see what's going on, and it just seems that a fairly large pigeon or of some sort has just been caught by a larger bird and is being carried off into the distance.
Oh, that's something you don't see every day.
But regardless, your watch passes without incident, and the morning comes. You all have. I mean, really, this is the first time that you've kind of slept in an actual building in, I think, the better part of a week at this point.
The last time was inside the lodge.
Which wasn't even asleep because you kind of just rested there and then made your way back out. I know, actually, the last time you slept in a building would have been in the Dragon's Fangs, when you returned to Helgen the first time.
Right.
Either way, quite some time ago in game, and you will find yourselves very grateful for the comfort that the lodge provides. But the morning comes. You've been undisturbed the entire evening. So you recover hit points equal to your level times your constitution bonus.
And Chardonnay and Otto lose the wounded condition, is that correct?
They do, that's correct.
My level times my constitution, 3. I get another 3.
And Chardonnay's level for this purpose, Stu, is 3.
Yes. Is Chardonnay always matching my level?
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
I mean, I don't think the rule explicitly says that they are, but they say it uses your level for proficiencies and stuff, so I assume that it is.
Okay.
Either way, you've awoken. You've sort of perhaps slept in a tiny bit owing to the comfort you found yourselves in. You've had your breakfast. What would you like to do?
Well, I think we should get a message back to Heldren about what's happened here. But I don't know how to get a message back without actually going back.
No, me neither, so we won't.
Otto's middle name is Charitable, clearly.
And practical. Realistic.
I mean, I suppose the only thing to do is to go back to Heldren.
Isn't that about a day's travel?
It was. Yes. If you are uninterrupted along the way, it is about a day's travel.
It's a day in the wrong direction, though. That's the only thing.
And that is a point, actually. When the three of you woke this morning, your first thoughts were of what might lie beyond the portal. Only for a brief moment, you found yourselves sort of dwelling on what might await you past there,
and whether to go. Therefore.
Well, I think those are our only choices, aren't they? The portal or Heldren.
Well, I also wouldn't mind, maybe having another look at those boulders and seeing if we can lay the spirits to rest. It's a tough decision.
We toss a coin.
All right.
Yes, toss a coin.
So
go for it.
Whoever wants to do so, roll me a d6. I'll let you assign odds and evens as you wish.
Evens, we go back to Haldren. Odds, we do something here, like we go through the portal or we check out the boulders.
Okay.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay.
It is a 6. We go back to Haldren.
Okay. Can't argue with the coin.
Well, they'll be pleased to see us, and it will give us more time to
Best of 3?
Best of 3?
Well, do you know what? So I heard this thing once where you as the coin's in the air, you know what you want it to be before it lands.
Yes.
So if you know that you don't want to go back to Heldren, you really don't want to go back to Heldren, then we know we don't want to go back to Heldren. Maybe, do you know what? Maybe we'll see someone on the way who can take a message back for us. Maybe we won't. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe we'll meet.
Shame I can't talk to Chardonnay. I could talk to Chardonnay to tell a wolf to get a message back. But I can't, so that's, a pointless. Amusing.
I'm trained in nature. Does that make any difference?
Okay, so are you heading back to Haldren? Is that what you do?
I think we're not.
No, I think we're not. We certainly
don't want to.
Yeah.
As the coin was in the air, we realised we wanted it to be an odd. And it
yes. And no, being trained in nature does not give you the ability to talk to animals, unfortunately.
Sadly, not as a champion. I think as
No, that was Amos's question.
I see. Fair enough. Fair enough. Before I forget, you did spend some time with the cloak and the sword the previous evening before you went to bed. The sword is quite simply a +1 short sword. If it matters to you or not, kind of engraved in the pommel of it is a very discreet symbol of Norgaba, which you notice, Orwin.
See, I wouldn't touch it. It's up to you two. I mean, it's a nice sword. Is that a +1 striking sword?
No, it's just a +1 sword, +1 short sword.
That's +1 to hit, not damage.
Not to
is that
damage,
right?
just to hit.
Okay. Yes, it's nice. I mean, I've got this masterwork longsword as well here.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a longsword and a short sword, and I've got my rapier.
I have my fists.
You have your fists. I don't know. Are you trained in? It's a martial weapon, is that right?
It is a martial weapon.
No,
You're not trained in martial
I'm not
weapons.
trained in martial weapons.
Is it? I'm pretty sure it is, but I could be wrong. Equipment.
Amos, you're not trained in martial weapons, are you?
No, monastic weaponry, I think.
Yeah, the short sword is a martial weapon.
So it's only me that's trained for all these different swords that we've got to. So we've got the. Obviously, I've got my rapier. We've got the masterwork longsword. We've got the +1 short sword. We've got the cold iron. Oh, that's the point. Presumably, the cold iron sword is somewhere in the lodge.
Yeah, you take a bit of time to sort of go searching for it, and you do find it, kind of tucked into one of the storerooms. Again, wrapped up in the same bundle of cloth.
Okay. Well, I think we'll take it. I mean, yeah. So there's the cold iron longsword. So there's only me that can use all these bloody things.
Just have to grow Alwyn 6 extra arms. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. So this might be a bit of a tricky question, Dom. But in game, would it be possible for Alwyn to spend time with Otto and Amos, teaching them how to use these weapons?
Yes, in theory. So, in kind of abstract terms, proficiency reflects kind of years of instruction and practice with something.
Right.
It's definitely something you could work towards, but it's not going to be a quick process.
Okay. Well, maybe as a, when we're resting of an evening, I can show you a few moves, Right, and the cloak. What was the cloak?
The cloak was you sort of had to sit with it for a few minutes until you kind of got an understanding in your head of what it was and what it did. But as you did so, whoever was doing so learned that this is a cloak of the Yeti, and it's a sort of very thick, shaggy white fur cloak, and it does a number of things. So it is an invested item. The wearer of this thick, furry cloak ignores the effects of severe or mild cold and gains a +1 bonus to armor class. Once per hour, the person wearing it can raise the hood of the cloak as a reaction to rolling an intimidation check. If they do so, they gain +2 to that intimidation check.
Right.
Who gets to wear the Yeti cloak?
Well, I'm going to suggest, as you're the easiest to kill, it seems, Otto,
I'm very easy to kill.
and we are going somewhere very cold, that, yes, you wear it so the cold is less likely to kill you, and with the +1 to AC, I don't know how I'm saying that in character, but the extra armour that it gives you, that might help as well. What do you think, Amos? Are you Happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
I'm glad you think that was my thinking as well. So I'm glad we are in agreement.
It's also worth noting, sorry, just to interrupt you there, where it reduces the effects of cold, your current winter cloaks only ignore mild cold, so this is an improvement on that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Punch my microphone.
Okay. Is there anything else in the lodge that we might have found? Any money or?
I'll tell you what. Give me a perception roll as you kind of taking a casual look around the place.
14.
14. Yeah, you find a couple of things. Nothing really to write home about. Lots of suits of armour, lots of kind of sort of swords and crossbows in varying states of disrepair. You do find, sort of going through a lot of the rooms, you do find a collection of coin totaling about 40 40 silver pieces.
Okay.
But other than that, you do find that there are a couple of rooms that are locked, and you sort of try to force them, and they seem to be quite sturdily made. Don't seem to be breaking open anytime soon.
No keys on Rohkar's body or anything like that?
Not that you could find.
Right, okay. But I don't think we want to hang about here too long, do we?
No.
We'll be getting on. Right, so that'll be 13 silver pieces each and 1 spare. Who gets the spare?
You can have the spare.
You found it. You get the
Very
spare.
kind of you. I won't argue. I'll give it to a charity when I see one.
When you think of one.
When I think of one. Charity begins somewhere.
Yes.
So what do we think? Do we go for the look at the boulders first or straight to the portal? I feel a sense of urgency about the portal.
Yes, I think the portal is...
Yeah.
If
Well,
that's
this
again, just to clarify, you're not feeling drawn there. It was odd that it was just the first thing that you thought about this morning. That's all.
Yeah, but I'm sort of interpreting that as it's playing on my mind. Therefore,
Yeah. To the portal then.
Right. Are we going to go through the boulders, or are we going to give them a wide berth? I think I know the answer.
I mean, we could go through them.
Well, let's go via the boulders and see what happens. See if we get waylaid.
I'll tell you what. You go through the boulders. I'll go the long way round with Chardonnay.
No, I've come the long way around.
Call me if you need me.
Maybe I'll come the long way around with you, the pretty way.
And look at the burnt heart.
Yes, let's go and look at the burnt hut. That's much more interesting.
Okay, so the three of you proceed after kind of getting yourself set for the morning, and kind of taking a look around the lodge to see what else, basically nicking anything that's not really nailed down that you could find. You begin making your way back into the Border Wood.
Can't believe I didn't find any more bloody booze.
Actually, sorry. In the kitchen, you did find there was some more booze. There's enough to take you up to a half full flask.
Okay, so that will be one more nip. Okay. I now have a half full flask.
Okay. Either way, after doing that, you are able to kind of start moving back into the forest. And as you do so, it seems that overnight the snow has begun to come in, perhaps a touch heavier than it was before. You sort of open the door, and you immediately get a flurry of snow in your face. You suffer no ill effects, but you're as you're beginning to walk, you're already moving through a bit of a very minor snowstorm.
Mind, gets in your mouth.
But you proceed through the through the woods along the path that the last time you had been this way, you were in the company of Tenpenny and Lady Argentia. And after a couple of hours' travel, you do indeed find yourself back at the site of the hut, and you enter the area that has the field of boulders. Did you say you're going around it again?
Alwyn's going around it.
Yes,
Around,
we'll
yes.
go around.
All right. And as the three of you plus Chardonnay begin sort of moving along the tree line, or when you do catch a glimpse again of this small young girl sort of stood in the field of boulders, shivering, and as you kind of as you see her, it's strange. It's almost like your presence caused her to start saying things. But again, she sort of calls out, looking vaguely off into the middle distance. She calls out and says, "I'm sorry. Don't hurt me. I never meant to call you names."
Nope.
No, they never mean it, do they? They always do it. They never mean it, but they always do it. Now she's sorry.
No. We're just like nothing to see. No, carry on.
Okay, and you do sort of skirt around the boulders, and eventually around past the hill where the still slightly smouldering ruins of the hut perch atop, but the hut itself remains burned down. It hasn't sort of magically sprung back up overnight.
I'm pleased to see that.
Okay. And you continue onwards through the forest, and again, after a couple of hours travel, again sort of moving through quite thick, heavy snow, you pass the area with the tree house where you camped before you fought Zeb Notton and afterwards. And a short while later, it's about mid-afternoon at this point, probably about 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock. But you find yourselves coming to the camp where you fought Teb Notton, and you can see the light of the portal swirling up above. And as you do so, you see that the corpse of Teb Notton is still there. It seems to sort of be growing ice on it. Still clutching his. No, actually, that's a lie because he threw it before he died. And his spear is still lodged in the snow, close to the icicle ring.
Just going to examine this spear a moment.
All right. You grasp the spear, and it has a familiar tingle to it. A very slight static as your skin caresses it.
Oh, I think this might be... Otto, is this magical?
Let me detect magic.
Otto, you cast Detect Magic, and you do get a magical sense from the spear.
Yes, there's something there.
Isn't it oversized for any of us, though?
Actually, looking at it... Oh, I've lost my note for it. Yeah, I mean, it was sized for Teb Notton, who was a large creature. So you sort of look at it, and it does look a little bit big.
It's a bit cumbersome to... Hang on one moment. I've had an idea, and I'm going to get some rope out, and if Chardonnay will allow me, I will tie it to the side of Chardonnay.
Oh, fantastic! I'll tell you what. Give me a. Give me a diplomacy roll, Owen. See if you can convince Chardonnay to accept this.
Oh shit! 7.
She bites you.
You sort of approach you approach Chardonnay with your rope and this spear, and Chardonnay sort of backs up, and you see his hackles go up on the back of his neck, and he growls.
Okay, sorry, bad idea. All right. Is it too cumbersome for us to take with us, or?
No, it's essentially a big spear, is what it looks like.
Right. Okay. We'll take it with us anyway.
Okay. And you sort of grasp the spear in earnest, Olwyn, and you pull it out of the snow, and you now have a slightly oversized spear.
Okay. Right. So, who's going first?
I'll go first.
All right. So, Brother Amos, you step forwards towards this light, sort of as the energy is swirling and whipping around you, and you take a second to steel your resolve, and you reason that it can't be that bad. I mean, someone came through it the other way, right? It can't be that bad. I'm sure it's fine. I'm not scared at all. Oh God, what am I doing? And as you have this last thought, you step into the swirling light, and there is a strange sucking sound, and you feel your body passing through. It's really strange. For a brief moment, it feels like you're sort of in a wind tunnel, sort of just moving very, very quickly without really knowing where you're going. All you can see is this white swirling mist around you, and then the sucking sound comes to a head, and you are spat out into a very similar scene to the one you left. You sort of find yourself in a forest. This is more of an Arctic forest than the kind of temperate-based one that you're in before. You look around, you see pine trees, sort of tall, dark bark, and sort of needles everywhere. You see that around the outside of this portal there is another ring of icicles, and the sky is a deep wintry grey. And as you pop through the other side of the portal, the chill catches you in your lungs almost instantly. And yeah, you look around and you gather that you are no longer in Taldor.
I think at this point there's not much else I can do other than wait.
That's it. So Otto and Olwyn, you watch Brother Amos sort of step nervously into the portal, which sort of flares with energy for just a moment, and then returns to normal. Are you following them through?
Do you know, I wonder if we should go back to Heldren.
Maybe, yes. I didn't like the look of that.
Do you want to go next, or should
do you think maybe he'll come back and tell us it's all clear?
Well, we didn't say to do that, did we?
No, but you would think, wouldn't you?
I'll tell you what. I'll go through with Chardonnay, and if it's all right, I'll come back and tell you. All right?
All right. Yes.
Okay. Chardonnay, here, boy. Come on.
All right.
And I'll step through with Chardonnay.
Okay, Olwyn, you lead Chardonnay into the portal, and you experience the same kind of sucking sensation as you're transported across a very vast distance at a very short space of time. And nary a moment later, you're also spat out, and you find yourself in this grey and snowy land. Brother Amos, you do see Olwyn and Chardonnay a few seconds after you pop through the light.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
It's the sucking sound coming to a head and being spat out. Poor Darren's been trying to hold it together all that time.
I'm sorry.
Either way,
So-
just to give Darren a second to cool down, and stop laughing. Olwen, you do sort of see you see Brother Amos there waiting for you on the other side.
Okay. Hello, Brother Amos. Can you keep an eye on Chardonnay a moment while I just nip back and tell Otto it's all right?
Okay.
And I'll nip back through.
And you do so, and a second later, you find yourself looking into the very bewildered face of Otto.
Go on, you nip through. I'll be right behind you.
It's safe, is it?
Yes, you get this sucking sensation, which
Oh, I like the sound of that.
comes to a head, and then
It's been a while.
you get spat out the other end. You know.
It sounds like just what I need.
That was far more filthy than I intended. That was meant to be this amazing, majestic story moment, and you guys have ruined it with filth.
Be careful of the blowing on the other end, though. Sorry, Dan. It was brilliantly told.
Don't worry. I enjoyed that.
We are children.
My mind's in the gutter.
Okay, so Otto, are you stepping through the portal?
I'll step through the portal. And be
You
sucked.
do so, and
Sucked
you
through.
are you are sucked. You are sucked long and hard, but also very fast. And a moment later, you appear in this grey and snowy land with Brother Amos sort of waiting with just a hand on Chardonnay's back.
Laughing his head off.
And back on the other side of the portal. Alwyn says, "And they never suspected I was changed," and goes through the portal.
Fantastic. And a moment later, the three of you are reunited on the other side of this wintry portal. As you kind of take stock of the area that you're in, you do sort of have to shuffle deeper into your cloaks because the chill is much more biting here than it was on the other side.
I'm glad I'm
Bit
wearing
nippy.
Yes, I'm glad I'm wearing the cloak of the Yeti.
Yeah, stop putting the HUD up. You're very intimidating when you do that.
Okay. So you found your way across this portal. As mentioned, you find yourselves kind of in a ring of icicles, similar to on the other side. Sky is a deep wintry grey, and you're surrounded by pine trees. What would you like to do?
Are there any pathways or anything like that through the trees? Any buildings and anything other than just a circle of trees around us?
Let's have perception rolls from everybody, please.
13.
21.
23.
Nice. Okay, Olwyn, you're still chuckling to yourself about the little gag you made that nobody heard. Olwyn, Brother Amos and Otto, you sort of glance around, and between you notice a number of things. You don't see any sort of direct pathways. You do see the evidence of hooves that had come into the portal on the other side. You recall that Ilvarian Matavius was riding a big black warhorse before that disappeared into nothingness. You notice that kind of just off to the east, you can see looks to be the outline of a mountain range, and there is a very artificial looking structure. You can't quite see, it's getting a little bit dark, but you can see the outline of what looks to be a tower on this hillside, quite away in the distance. And the last thing you notice, and it's Brother Amos that notices this, around the portal that you've come through, there is the remains of what surely, until very recently, was a massive pine tree. Seems to have been sundered and shattered in some way.
Well,
that's what we get.
We can either follow these horse tracks or head towards the tower.
Well, that was well spotted. Yes. All right then. Do you want to lead the way and I'll...
Yes,
I'll
I think we
follow?
should follow the tracks.
Okay.
See where they lead.
Alwyn will draw his longbow in preparedness.
Okay, and in which direction are you travelling?
We're following the horse tracks that lead to the portal.
Following the horse tracks, okay.
Yeah.
Which do kind of lead in a vaguely easterly direction. As the three of you begin trudging through the snow, again the snow is really thick this side of the portal. You're really having to sort of struggle with each step that you plant. You're following these tracks for a good 10 minutes or so, and kind of just as the portal itself disappears into the thickness of the trees, all three of you hear a short distance ahead of you. You hear the sound of a commotion. You can hear shouts of people who seem to be running around. You can hear solid objects striking other solid objects, and you hear a primal guttural cry of a creature of some kind. It sounds a bit like a... And that is where we're going to end for this session, folks.
Ooh. We're not in Kansas anymore, so I'm in Chardonnay.
Tales from the 20 Side is a Feagle Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com, editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.